don't think he's gonna come up unless you show that you really love him. Could we get a big cheer, please? Come on. Should we chant his name and then he'll appear like magic, maybe? Yeah? Should we start chanting Jeremy and see if he appears?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Is he ready? He is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start chanting and get him on stage. Jeremy! 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 Jeremy!
Jeremy!
It's Jeremy Shada! That's the
this thing on?
guest.
Well, hello there, everybody. How you guys doing? I know we already had the screams from the Adventure Time fans, but do we also have some razzle-dazzling Voltron fans over here? Ah, there we go. I figured we did.
Just there. Look at you, looking all cute.
Look at those two cute little characters and that 5-year-old right next to them. God, that is an old photo.
You
Wow.
look good though.
I think I look like I'm probably not even out of middle school yet in that photo. What do you think, 10, 13?
Yeah,
10? Yeah, I look like I mean, I have a baby face anyway, so even now I look 16, but I'm 21. But I really look young there.
You should grow a beard. I'm literally 12.
Believe me, I've tried. The facial hair does not work very well on my face. It comes in splotchy. It takes like forever to even get anything going. Like you have good, nice thickness. It's full. Mine does not do that. It does not work. So I just keep a nice clean shave.
Head and shoulders, rub it on your face. Helps, honestly.
Good tip.
Do you know what? Usually I like to sit here and ask all the questions, but is there any fan questions? I want to give you guys the opportunity to speak with Jeremy. So you've got a fan question. I'm coming straight out. Think of some questions. I want to come to you and give you the experience. Hello there. Do you want me to hold your camera?
Yeah.
I'll hold your camera. Right, you ask the question. Yeah, you can sit there. It's fine. Sit there.
Hey, what's up? I was wondering, do you have any personal headcanons for Lance?
Headcanons for Lance.
Yeah.
I think that Lance is an amazing dancer.
Yeah.
I think that he can get down with the best of them.
Yes.
I think he probably plays the guitar a little bit. He can do a little serenade.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know. I'm sorry.
That was good.
I thought it was pretty crap, but
You've got my backing.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
You don't want to hear my Scottish accent. It's all George. Do you want to hear a Scottish accent? I'm from Scotland.
That's quite good.
Scotland. I'm better as a Geordie. Why I? Right, next question.
If you could design your own Candy Kingdom person, what would you make them and what would you call them?
I could barely hear you.
Oh,
Speak
sorry.
really loud.
Cool. If you could design your own Candy Kingdom person, what would you make them and what would you call them?
My own Candy Kingdom person. I mean, I like chocolates. I like Reese's Pieces, so it'd be like a buttery, chocolatey type little person, a little circular. Probably peanut butter butts. I think that worked. They call Peppermint Butler pet butts, so peanut butts. Peanut butt. There we go. Peanut butt. Yeah. That's a little peanut butter butler. He's just cute.
I'm trying to picture that in my mind now. Right, so
Don't picture that in your mind.
maybe later. Right, next question. Ready? Go.
Hi, Seaway, sorry, Adventure Time, how did you feel? Like, did you think it was going anywhere and now it's finished? How do you feel?
It's a weird thing when you work on a show like that for, I mean, like, that better part of like 10 years. I think the weirdest part is just not being on it anymore. I mean, most shows don't get to go that long, and so for us, we're always just thankful for that opportunity of a show like that. I mean, Adventure Times those types of shows don't come along very often, and so to get to be the guy and to get to be a part of that has been really, really awesome. So I think it's one of those shows that'll live on in some way, shape, or form forever. It's such a classic, and you know, who knows? I mean, we've seen weirder things happen. There's a lot of shows that I never thought would come back on that have. So, you know, it could possibly come back in some way, shape, or form, whether that's like a animated movie or who knows. But you know, I mean, if the fans keep yelling at them, maybe they'll make it. I do know they love making money, so if it makes money, I don't know why they wouldn't make it. That's always the thing that makes the world go round. But honestly, I think it has such a great legacy as a show, and it's just, it's been a wild ride. I think watching the finale was really, really cool, because it definitely, it hits you right in the feels. You know, that nostalgia?
Good catch.
I didn't catch the glass, but I got him. I got the most important part, which is Baby Groot.
Just throw it on the sofa.
Okay, you're all right. Okay, but yeah, no, it's been awesome, and I think it's bittersweet. You miss working with the cast members, but it's fun to go and experiment on new shows and new challenges too at the same time.
Now, I've got to say, there's certain cartoons that are seen as like generation defining, and I think Adventure Time and some of the storylines that they took is going to be one of those shows that's remembered for a very, very long time.
100%, and I think Adventure Time really started a wave of animation as well. I think before Adventure Time, there wasn't really a show like that, and so it definitely is. It's very unique, very classic, and I don't think anything can top it that's in that range, to be honest, but. And because the fans have been so awesome, you guys are so awesome. I love you guys.
Okay, next question.
Who do you ship more, Finn and Princess Bubblegum or Finn and Flame Princess?
Probably Finn and Flame Princess. I've always been a fan of that. I think in the finale they basically don't show him getting together with anybody. But I guess he doesn't need to. I mean, it's left up to the imagination. I mean, I think that's the great part about the finale is that we wrap up a lot of the long-running plot lines, but we leave it open enough to potentially do more there in the future, or just you leave it up to the imagination. You know, I'm sure those characters had very long lives after that. But yeah, I always liked Finn and FP. I always thought it was funny that they had a relationship because even if they held hands, it would like burn him. But just very funny to me.
Okay, I'm just to your right here. Next question.
What's your opinions on clams?
I don't have any. I can't talk about it. So yeah, I'll get in trouble. The DreamWorks sharpshooters will just, So yeah, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about that. Sorry.
Okay, next question at the back here.
First off, loved Adventure Time.
Oh, I see.
Thank you.
I see Jason.
When you were voice acting Finn, were you, when you done the scream, how did you do that? And can you maybe do it?
There's a lot of screams in that show. I think you're probably talking about there's one in particular that's very like, that one? You do just like that, brother. It sounds like a fire alarm. It's just like, I can't. It's really hard to do though. I think I did it. I mean, I've done it throughout the show multiple times, but I think after a while they just kept using the same recording. But that was me. That was not affected. That was me in the booth.
Awesome. Okay, back in the middle here.
Hello. Out of all the Voltron episodes, which one would you say is your favourite from all 7 seasons?
Favorite Voltron episode. There's. I guess I'll split that into 2 categories. There's like the dramatic type episodes, and then there's more like the comedic ones. I think for the comedic episodes, probably the game show one in season 7 is a favorite of mine. That one's a lot of fun. And then I think for the dramatic episodes, I like the Red Paladin episode where it's kind of the changing of the lions. That one's really cool. Knights has some cool moments in there. Yeah, I guess those are my favorites. I think it's hard because a lot of the storylines are spread out throughout the seasons, and so there's some epic episodes. I mean, the episode where Keith is like fighting the Shiro clones, which I think is the season 6 finale, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna leave you. That one's even though it's not for my character necessarily, but just as an episode, that episode is really, really cool. And watching that back, I love that one too, so yeah.
Okay, another question just here.
Bebo Bee?
People beep, 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 beep.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay, next question.
I speak fluent Bebob.
Hi, can you give us the old razzle dazzle?
Yes, I can. Razzle dazzle. Of course, what a classic, what a go-to.
You're like a trained monkey for them. Say this, say that.
Pretty much, that's what it feels like, yeah.
Next question here.
Hi, what would you say is Lance's and Finn's favourite song?
Lance's and Finn's favorite song. I think Lance's is Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. I always make that joke, but it's just funny. Finn? I mean, I guess the OO doesn't really have like contemporary music and stuff, so I guess in the context of Adventure Time, it would probably be Bacon Pancakes, maybe? I was gonna say the Buff Baby song, but I think in the show, Finn's embarrassed about that one, so. Do you like the Buff Baby song, though? Would you like to hear the Buff Baby song? Yeah, I figured. I'm a tough titty baby, I can dance like a man. I can shake 'em out, baby, I can shake 'em my hand. I'm a buff baby, I can punch all your bones. Punch all your bones, I can punch all your bones. If you're an evil witch, I will punch you for fun. You're welcome.
You make it out as if you don't enjoy doing that, but you seem to really enjoy it that time. Love it. Okay, next question here.
Hi there. This might seem a bit weird, but yesterday you mentioned that you were a very picky eater, and I was wondering, to what extent is that?
I could barely hear you. There's some crazy looking troopers over here. Fortniters probably? Yeah, I figured. Screaming their heads off. What were you saying?
The question was that you've said that you are a bit of a picky eater, and how bad?
The worst. For instance, most of you when you order a burger, you probably have some stuff on there. For me, it's just meat and bun. Also, when I'm eating food, it cannot touch. God, I'm the worst. Like if I have a meal, I'll have like my veggies here, my fruit here, the protein supplement here, bread here. I'm very, very weird like that. I don't know why. Honestly, it's not a fun thing. I wish I was less picky, because then it makes traveling like much more difficult. But yeah, I'm pretty much I'm the worst.
Okay, we'll have 2 more questions from the front here, and then we'll get our next guests on the stage. What's your question?
Hi, I hope you know how beautiful you are, first of all. And, in Voltron, what has been the hardest part for you to voice act?
The hardest part, I don't know. I don't know what I would categorize as the hardest. I mean, I think the emotional moments are always harder because you're trying to make it seem genuine, but not like overdone. So like there's a scene where in season 7 where they come back to Earth and he like sees his family again. And those types of scenes, you're just trying to do genuine and make sure they sound not like over the top when there's like a little bit of kind of that just emotional undertone with like a little bit of crying or something involved and stuff. So those are always tough. As far as like what kills your voice, I mean like the freaking anime style, you know, wind up, getting ready to do that type of stuff is always like those long held out battle screams are always, they're one of the funnest things to do. But also, like, it takes so much out of you. By the end, you're like, the blood vessels are like popping in your face. And you're just like, but those are fun. My favorite one is definitely the very anime. It goes like all black and white. I think it's in season 6, maybe? 5 or 6. Or like Lance's, I think he like forms the sword or something the first time. He has this very long, drawn out, like, it's one of my favorite ones to do. But all that stuff for us is done in ADR. So we don't record that on the first pass of the script because we don't know what the animation is going to look like. So we do all the lines and dialogue first, and then after it's animated, we'll go back and record like battle yells, action sounds, and stuff like that, because then you're just basically chasing the animation, essentially. You're literally just watching it play out with nothing in there. And if it's a scene where, you know, you're watching Lance do some like fighting or something, you'll watch it once through, and then the next time you're just basically giving in the sounds as he's doing it on the screen. So I'll be watching like, yeah, you know. You're just literally just watching it and putting in the sounds and stuff, but it's a fun process.
Okay, final question here. Would you like to ask it?
Yeah, sure. I was always wondering how, when you go into voice acting, how exactly you get into mentality of the character you're voicing. Like, how do you get into character while you're voicing them? Like, what sort of things that they like and what sort of things that they do? How do you, like, know and think how they think?
I think a lot of that is there is definitely there in the writing. I mean, the writers have a good concept of who the character is, so you have that base plate there already. You know, you're not like, you know, making up stuff on the spot necessarily. So you have the writing there, and the lines and what's happening in the scene is kind of informing what you're going to be doing. And then from there, I mean, for me, I guess for Lance, he's a type of character that He can be a little goofy at times, a little insecure, but then also a little flirty, and try to like kind of mask that. So that kind of all goes in there. But I think it really is like, I think natural is always is better. I mean, you can have stuff that's more broad, but as long as it's natural, it's good. Lance is close to my normal voice, so I don't have to put that much effort into it. I just kind of do it with a little bit of oomph on it, I guess, for lack of a better word. Finn is up here in my higher register now. What's up, guys? So for Finn, I just kind of think of him in the sense of that he's kind of the inner 12-year-old, adventurous, happy-go-lucky kid in all of us that's just trying to figure out the world. I think it's always best to keep it simplistic in your head for what the character is, and then let the writing bring in the complexity, I guess, and then just try and act it as genuine as you possibly could. In some ways, put yourself into it and kind of, you know, go with that. And then if the directors have a different note on it, then you can always course correct. But I think half the time, whatever your first inclination is usually pretty right on. It's spontaneous, but yeah.
Well, thanks for all those questions. Now, before we get our next guest on, I've just been handed this by a TJ, and I thought it was so cool. And he's age 10, is that right? Young gentleman there, give us a wave.
What's up, TJ? I love your art, dude. It looks awesome.
Well, you know what? Come here, TJ. Come here. Come to the front. It doesn't seem right I give it. So why don't you actually hand it to Jeremy yourself? There you go, because your artwork. Let's hear it for TJ. Awesome. Thank you very much, TJ. Now, Jeremy, would you like to do the honors, the welcome on?
Yes.
Who were we?
So some of you might know this. I have a band called Make Up Monday. All right, cool. Few people. They're here, and they're going to come up on stage, and we're going to answer a few band-related questions. So, yeah. You guys all ready to go? Hey, band people.
They don't want to come up.
Come the frick on the stage. I'm sorry.
Let's get them up. Let's
all right,
get them up.
Get up for the guys.
Right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for that intro music, by the way, which was actually one of our songs. It's called Bullet for Your Sweetheart. So check it out afterwards, but yeah.
Well, first of all, would you like to introduce yourselves to the crowd here?
Yes, this is Seth.
I'm Seth.
Seth is the drummer.
I'm John, I play guitar.
I'm Jeremy, I sing and I play bass. You don't know me at all, it's fine.
I'm Zach, I don't have any talent, I'm just the face of the band.
Yep. It's a good face.
Yeah.
Nah, I sing and I play some keys as well.
He also writes most of 90% of the lyrics and everything else. So.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Zach's also my brother, by the way.
Brother power.
Ooh. Fun fact for those of you who are Adventure Time fans, Zach actually played the voice of Finn or Penn in the original little Nickelodeon short that was like 11 minutes long before Cartoon Network picked it up. And then I stole his job, and I've been doing it on the series for every single episode ever since. So yeah.
Christmas must be great for yous. Do you remember that time you stole my job?
Especially Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for my little brother stealing my freaking job. No, I'm kidding. It's not like that at all.
I've never said that. I've thought it. You know.
Disgraceful. But you know, it's one of those things. We're in a band together. That's the main thing. So
exactly.
How did the band come about? How did this all begin?
How'd the band come about, Zachy?
Well, I've known this guy, you know, my whole life because we're brothers. I've known Seth for about 10, 12 years. I don't know, something. 12 years by now. Amount of time. And then John and Seth are best friends. So I've been in and out of groups with Seth for a long time. Just different stuff. You know, we were in like a rap rock band. We were in a country band for a bit. A lot of different stuff. But eventually,
Kung Fu band.
What?
Did you do Kung Fu as you're playing?
Oh yeah, we Kung Fu band. Yeah, we'd fight and sing.
Kung Fu band.
Nah, but then eventually we were like, you know, I wanted to do something in the punk realm, you know, rock, alternative. So me and Seth were messing around with some stuff, and then Jeremy, you know, he was doing kind of his solo stuff, singing, and then we kind of just felt like we were all in the same place with what we wanted to do. So we were like, hey, let's give this a go. Let's
join forces. Let's form a band, if you will.
Let's form Voltron. Yeah. So that's what happened.
So how did the name? Who came up with the name of Make Out Mondays? That means just all sit around together on Mondays and make out.
It started as a joke. We had a bunch of different ideas. We almost were letter 27, and
that's it. That never happened.
That was never gonna fly.
Never gonna happen.
He's like, hey, how about Makeout Monday.
Basically, we were talking about, like, me and Zach were talking about different names and stuff, and we like the idea of like something Monday. And we're, had different iterations of that. And I was basically on Instagram scrolling through my feed, and I saw somebody post something, and I saw the hashtag Makeout Monday. It just kind of made me laugh. And so as a joke, I was like, "Hey, dude, have a Makeout Monday." I'm gonna laugh for a bit, and then he's like, "Damn, that's freaking catchy." And I was like, "Yeah, it is." All right, and so we showed it to the guys, and we just went with that. There's not much behind it.
It works. It works.
Yeah, it works well. It's great for merchandising, man. You just have the lips, and our acronym is MOM, literally. It's Make Out Monday, so...
We didn't plan that, but
I love MOM.
It is fun.
I love MOM.
Who wants a shirt?
What a great segue, Seth.
What a great segue.
We need a t-shirt cannon, don't we?
Also, by the way, we have no idea what sizes these are. We just grabbed some random t-shirts. So
Why don't go out and give them? Go out in the crowd, pick someone you think's deserving. There we go.
This one's a large.
You guys can just swap afterwards if you got the wrong size. I'm gonna try to chuck it. Here we go.
Actually, do you have one more?
Oh, good catch. Good catch.
TJ, come here.
Who's yelling the loudest out here?
I think that's fair. You get that for the drone.
Favorite.
Hey, there we go, good.
Fight each other for it. Sorry, don't do that actually, that's bad.
So, talking about merchandise and everything, tell us about the album.
Right, so this year we finished and came out with our debut album, Visions of Hollywood. 11 songs, or I think when we just got signed by a label recently actually. And so we'll be re-releasing it early next year with another song on it. It'll be 12 songs, and we're shooting multiple more music videos and stuff right now. But our first single, Kissophobic, which we'll probably show you guys in a minute, also has a music video, and so if you want to check that out afterwards, it's on YouTube. But the album is, I guess, the theme is Visions of Hollywood, so we kind of have thematically a lot of stuff just about us kind of living. We've all grown up and live in LA, so there's a lot of stuff in there about that. There's like the happier parts of it, there's like the crappier parts of living in LA that are in there, and we try to have fun with it. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, we put our own relationship, kind of stories into it. We write from actual experience, our own kind of personal stories, and so there's a lot of that in the album, which is a lot of fun. I mean, there's something there for everybody, I guess. There's some punk rock, there's some alternative. There's like Kissophobic is kind of more of an old, like, I want to say like Beach Boys throwback that eventually gets heavier, but I don't know, it's cool.
I feel like Kissophobic's kind of like a pop rock song a little bit. You have like the kind of old style, more pop music in the beginning, and then it kind of transitions into a rock song, which is really cool.
Awesome. Well, we're actually out of time, but what we thought, who would like to hear their song as we unfortunately lose our guest? Anyone want to hear it? Yeah. Right, well what we'll do is, while they're heading off, because obviously the most important thing is, do these guys deserve a huge, massive round of applause? Let's hear it for Jeremy and the Makeout Mondays!
Thank you, guys.